partial government shutdown. Democrats rejecting President Trump's latest proposal to end it.
ABC's David Wright is at the White House where that stalemate continues. David, good morning.
Good morning, Whit and Eva. The stalemate continues, the debate bitter and petty. And 1 month into this federal government shutdown, the two sides seem to be no closer to ending this standoff. But now the White House is trying to set a different tone. In the Oval Office this weekend, an unusual ceremony. 5 new Americans took the oath of citizenship.
This is the first such swearing in that we've ever had in the great Oval Office. So that's a pretty big honor right there.
President Trump eager to show he's not against immigrants per se.
We are all equal. We are one team and one people, proudly saluting one great American flag.
But as he outlined later in the White House diplomatic room, he still wants Congress to pay $5.7 billion for his border wall.
This is not a 2,000-mile concrete structure from sea to sea. These are steel barriers in high-priority locations.
In exchange for that, Trump now says he's prepared to extend temporary legal protections for the so-called Dreamers. Young people brought to this country illegally as minors would have 3 more years without worry. It's a program the president once railed against and tried to terminate altogether.
This extension will give them access to work permits, Social Security numbers, and protection from deportation, most importantly.
Democrats say that's a non-starter, telling the president the only path forward is to reopen the government. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi said in a statement, his proposal is a compilation of several previously rejected initiatives, each of which is unacceptable and in total do not represent a good faith effort to restore certainty to people's lives. Democrats are reportedly working on a plan of their own, offering no money for the president's border wall, but $1 billion for border security, half of which could be used on infrastructure. Bottom line, the Democrats refuse to pay for the wall, and the president refuses to accept anything short of paying for the wall. So moving forward, we're not moving forward. In fact, it's not even clear that the Republican leader, Senator Mitch McConnell, has enough votes to bring the president's new proposal up for a vote. Dan?
Not many signs of progress here. David, thank you. That's David Wright reporting from the White House this morning. Let's bring in ABC's Martha Raddatz, who's also in Washington, where she will be co-hosting This Week later this morning. Martha, good morning. So I guess I'm curious, do the Democrats run the risk of being politically outmaneuvered here by the president? Trump is using the power of his office to address the nation on Saturday and to offer what at least appears to be a compromise. You give me money for the wall, I'll give you temporary protections for the Dreamers. And yet Nancy Pelosi comes out and calls this thing a non-starter even before the president speaks.
Well, sure, the Democrats are putting forward a picture that they're not going to negotiate over this wall at all. They don't want the wall and they won't accept anything but that. There's got to be some wiggle room in there somewhere. And as you said, Dan, President Trump really can use that office to present himself as kinder and gentler, which he did yesterday with that naturalization ceremony. But he also angered some of his base by offering these temporary protections. So he's sort of stuck in the middle there as well. I think next week you'll see the Democrats try to take this back and seize more opportunities with voters to say, look, we're the reasonable ones.
Yeah, it's really interesting the president is in this tricky position vis-a-vis his base. And when he addressed the nation not long ago, it didn't move the needle in terms of public opinion. So it's complicated all around. Speaking of the border, you this week spent a lot of time on both sides of the southern border, on the U.S. side, the Mexico side. The president has been calling the situation along the border a crisis. That's his word. Is that what people you spoke to believe? Do they think this is a crisis?
Well, if you talk to the migrants or those who are supporting them or those who are sheltering them, they say the crisis is for the migrants because they need more help, because they need more support. But I also walked many miles along that border and drove many miles along that border in the San Diego sector with the chief of the Border Patrol there. And that chief said, yes, we are absolutely in a crisis. We have to do something about this. And he will point to the fact that there are more families coming in. And that's what is different here. It's the families that are coming in. Where you go to some of these shelters and some of the places, the migrants are being detained and there are car seats stacked there, boxes of diapers. It's a very different scene. And frankly, as we were going along that 14 miles of border structure, I think there were 3 separate incidents where migrants were able to cross into the U.S., some of them just right in front of us.
Martha Raddatz, we're looking forward to seeing more of your reporting on the show this morning. Thank you. And a reminder, Martha does have a big show this morning. You can see that full report from both sides of the southern border. Plus, she's going to speak with this woman right here, Senator Kirsten Gillibrand, the latest Democrat to jump into the 2020 presidential race, likely to be a crowded field. It's all coming up on This Week right here on